So back to how the enchantress is basically could be a voodoo queen because she works with botany. Botany is when you work with like herbs and stuff and you heal things and you work with a lot of energy in the earth. There are different type of enchantresses. Enchantresses use botany to help people or to get people. Some witches are good, some witches are bad. This is the patroness of botany, and it looks like a pizza on top of her head, which reminds me that Tombstone Pizza is owned by someone who's part of Skull and Bones from Yale. So when I see pizza, I'm like, I know what that is. But just because you cook pizza does not mean you're bad or good. It just depends what kind of pizza you're cooking. So, like the enchantress was in a person's body, it wasn't really her. So, they didn't want to red rum the actual person, but they had to because in the end, they couldn't get rid of the enchantress unless they get rid of the person. Like Queen Charlotte was an enchantress, she knew how to do botany, she knew a lot of ancestral things from her homeland, but she used it to heal people. So, the thing on her head looked very familiar. It looks like the Harkness surname crest. Whenever you're trying to decode, always look for people's surname and what it came from, because then you find out what families they're from. And a lot of times, if I see Cumberland, or anywhere in England, and they come from the Doomsday Book, I pretty much know that person. Be a little bit like look into the person if they come from Cumberland, England, anywhere in UK if they are doing your health, because a lot of the healthcare is controlled healthcare, and they don't want the Moorish people to ever remember what's going on with them. So Matthew Hopkins, like Hopkinsville, Kentucky, August 12th birthday, he was actually a witch hunter, and A Discovery of Witches is a TV show. But he wrote a book called The Discovery of Witches and Discovery of Wishes. So I'm like, that's strange. Deborah Harkness was actually who did write A Discovery of Witches. So I was like, okay, it's not the Hopkins, so how would they have the same name? Like, how did A Discovery of Witches sound like The Discovery of Witches by Matthew Hopkins? Elias Alexander Harkness from McDonough, Henry County, basically married into the family. Like the Harkness and the Hopkins family married into each other. So if you type in Harkness and Hopkins, they actually just merged the two families, and that's why it's a similar thing going on with the witches. One hunches the witches, and the other one writes movies about the witches, making money and hunting at the same time. So when I saw the top of her head, I already knew what it was. Symbology. Always being hunted or always hunting. Depends what kind of witch you are.